Okay, so yeah, I can read this. Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed. Robert, you can start reading. Srila Rupa Goswami, start reading.
Do you want me to start? Do you want me to start? You're muted.
You can go ahead then.
Okay. Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are 1. Happiness derived from material enjoyment. 2. Happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman. And 3. Happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. In the Tantra Sastra, Lord Shiva speaks to
things are there. Happiness derived from material enjoyment means simply materialistic enjoyments of any kind. Happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman means those people who think God to be impersonal and they try to merge in God. That kind of happiness is called Brahmananda. So basically, they want to get rid of this material world and go to Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is like the effulgence of the Lord. It's beyond the material sky, but it's a spiritual sky, but only the effulgence. But they're not going to the spiritual planet. They're not engaging in devotional service. So these people don't want Maya. They don't want Krishna. They are in between service. But they also don't find the true satisfaction because yes, they go beyond this material world, but they don't have any kind of shelter. They again come back. Go ahead. In the Tantra Shastra. Sorry, can go ahead. Okay, Robert, you can read. Robert, can you read?
In the happiness derived
from here in the Tantra Shastra. Yeah, from here.
Starting where?
Yeah, from there. Yeah, go ahead.
In the Tantra Sastra, Lord Shiva speaks to his wife Sati in this way. My dear wife, a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has thus developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalists. And beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by the pure devotees. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. There's no preventing one's falling down from material happiness. There's no and there is even chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived out of identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman.
Getting a call.
What happened? Can you read further? You're not reading. Okay, same you can read.
I think somebody was getting a call in the middle. I'll continue reading.
So, okay, I'll just maybe explain it a bit. So what it says that the person who has ascended to the Lord and developed pure Krishna consciousness, so whether can be very they wanted all perfection desired by impersonalism, meaning see impersonalists want to get rid of all the material miseries, correct? And that's why they are trying to avoid this material world and go to the they want to attain, they want to merge with God and have eternal peace. But the point is, the devotee already gets that, because when devotee is going to spiritual world, automatically he's out of material world. And he is not caught by material miseries automatically. Even amidst material miseries, he is completely under the protection of the Lord. So he has no troubles personally. No, that's what Raghava Maharaj says. Naivodvijay paradurataya vaitaranya tudavir gaya mahamritamagna chittaha. So chetato vimuka chetasa indriyatha maya sukaya paramudvato vimuna. So he says this, that, oh Lord, all these material miseries of this world is not a problem for me because I am completely absorbed in your devotional service. And I am only worrying about those fellows who are simply bereft of your service. They've forgotten you. They are gone against you. I'm only concerned about them. So it's an amazing point, actually, Yeah. So we are simply suffering because we haven't done shelter of the Lord. So for pure devotee, even though there are material world still remains for them also, but they don't live in material world, because they have completely absorbed in the Supreme Lord. Then there is no true misery for us when we are absorbed in the Supreme Lord. That's the point. Yeah. And then he says, so all the benefits of impersonalist and karmis, everything is already there when you perform pure devotion. So happiness derived from pure devotion is the highest because it is eternal. Happiness derived from material perfection, understanding, also promotes fear because it is temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from the material happiness. Yeah. So you again fall. I think we discussed this point. There's every chance of
We
falling
did.
down. Yeah. But those who got Brahmajyoti again fall. And we discussed that. That's how they come back in this material. Yeah. So you can read further. Who will read? Venu Prabhu, will like to read?
Okay. The mystic perfections achieved by actually successful yogis are right in number.
Anima Siddhi.
Anima Siddhi refers to the power by which one can become so small that he can enter into a stone. Modern scientific improvements also enable us to enter into stone because they provide for excavating so many subways, penetrating the hills, etc. So, Anima Siddhi, the mystic perfection of trying to enter into the stone, has also been achieved by material science. Similarly, all of the yogi siddhis or perfections are material arts. For example, in one yogi siddhi, there is development of the power to become so light that one can float in the air or on water. That is also being performed by modern scientists. They are flying in the air, they are floating on the surface of the water, and they are traveling under the waves.
I can't find it. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So you can see that there are different siddhis, Prabhu. These yogis, they get different kind of siddhis. Even some yogis that have been existing now itself in some Himalayas and all, they're still there, some of the yogis sometimes. But usually in previous ages, they were more prominent. The mystic perfections are there. So Anima Siddhi refers to power by which one can become so small that he can enter into stone. So he's saying modern scientific improvements are also enable us to enter into stone because they provide for excavating so many subways. So in one sense, it's a kind of imitation of the mystic power. Not exactly like that, but something like that. Prabhupada is mentioning the point. So he says, that is there. So same Anima Siddhi, the mystic person of trying to enter into stone has been achieved by material science. Simply all of the yogis is perfection or material art. So there's nothing spiritual about it. So all these mystical, like one fellow thought I can walk in the water. Then Prabhupada said, what's great about it? We can take a boat and we can also go across the river. There is no great about it. So this is not a spiritual life. This is material life only. So what is spiritual, what is material? Sometimes, foolishly they don't understand. They think some magic somebody does, he is spiritual. That's so. Even a yogi can do some magic, but that's not spiritual. Spiritual life means it begins with the understanding that I am servant of Krishna and there is a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is spiritual life. It is based on the activity of the soul. It is done for the pleasure of the Lord. That is spiritual. It's not about something creating some stone, entering into stone, creating some ash, or walking on the water and flying in the sky. So that is not spiritual. That's material. Because scientists also doing the same thing, right? You also flying in the sky with their airplane. They're flying the sky with some kind of some mantras. So there's nothing spiritual about it. For example, Yoga Siddhi, they develop the power to become so light that one can float in the air or water. That's being performed in modern scientists. They are flying in the air, they're floating on the water, they're traveling under the water. So there is nothing spiritual about it. Carefully understand. Yeah, next, who can read? Akshatama, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, after comparing all these mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfections, we find that the materialistic scientists try for the same perfections. So, actually, there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. A German scholar once said that the so called yoga perfections had already been achieved by the modern scientist, and so he was not concerned with them. He intelligently went to India to learn how he could understand his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord by means of bhakti yoga, devotional service.
You can see all these yogic siddhis, that's not spiritual. So he's saying that materialistic perfection and yogic perfection, similar only, no difference much. So he proposed quoting one example of a German scholar. So he went to India once to find out, what is to seek spiritual things actually. He went there. So he found that there's so many yogis, they're trying to do so many things. So then he was very much, feeling, what is this? Modern science also doing the same thing. Modern science will say the same thing. So he was very intelligent. He did not get so impressed about those things. He said, I did not come to learn this. They're already doing. In my country, they're already making a lot of inventions and they're already trying to do all these things. But actually, he came to learn what is my eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord by means of Bhakti Yoga. That's what he was intelligently there to be able to understand this point. But many Indians are enamored by some yogis and this kind of people who just do some kind of miracle. In India, there is South India, there is a very big fellow. So he creates ash, and he creates some gold, and he is considered God only. You know that. Now he died now. That God who came out died. So-called God died. So this is foolishness actually. So many people are made into God because this shows, and sometimes they don't have any yogic powers also. They're simply doing some hath ki safai, They're simply trying to just do some kind of jugglery, and try to show some kind of like O.P. Sharma, O.P. Tandon, there's some magicians. So they will make elephant disappear, something they'll do. It's not actually they have yogic power. They simply, what it calls, they play tricks. So there are many so-called gods in India. They play tricks and people accept them as God. So, or people sometimes go to some Swami, some Baba, and they help them to get some material life better. And then they will say, this is my God. They make him God. So this is simply, cheating actually. God is not so cheap. Who can read? Next. Purnamati, like to read? Of course.
Of course, in the sorry, Prabhu.
Okay, no problem. Robert, would you like to read? Robert Prabhu, can you read? You have to unmute Robert.
Yes. Of course, in the categories of mystic perfection, there are certain processes which the material scientists have not yet been able to develop. For example, a mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called Laghima.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. Though the modern astronauts go to the moon with the help of spaceships, they undergo many difficulties, whereas a person with mystic perfection can extend his hand and touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti, or acquisition. With this prapti siddhi, not only can the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place, and if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. This is Prapti Siddhi.
Xavier, would you like to read?
Interesting.
Robert, you can read. I think when you read, you're hearing also. Otherwise, I'm not sure that you're hearing. You only read. Robert, will you continue reading?
There is another. Oh, the same. There's another mystic perfection.
No, the modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons. Read this.
Which is known as Prakanya magic.
This one. Modern
Which one?
scientists.
Oh, the modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons. Oh, yes. With which they can destroy an insignificant part of the planet. But by the yoga siddhi known as Isita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. Wow. Another perfection is called Vasita, and by this perfection, one can bring anyone under his control. This is a kind of hypnotism which is almost irresistible. Sometimes it is found that a yogi who may have attained a little perfection in this Vasita mystic power comes out among the people and speaks all sorts of nonsense, controls their minds, exploits them, takes their money, and then goes away. Wow. That sounds dangerous.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There is another mystic perfection which is known as prakamya magic. By this prakamya power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eye and then again come out from within the eye. Simply by his will, he can perform such wonderful activities.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The highest perfection of mystic power is called Kamavasasita.
Kamavasayita.
Yes. This is also magic, but whereas the prakamya power acts to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, Kamavasayita permits one to contradict nature. In other words, to do the impossible. Of course, one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfections.
Imagine if you get all these yogic perfections, no? How nicely you will meddle with so
yes, it'd be quite fun.
quite fun. So the thing is, this is distraction for a devotee. That's why a devotee does not aspire for them. I understand. This is not at all spiritual. It's all material only. Modern scientists are doing the similar way, gadgets and all this, nothing but some kind of mystic perfection. But it's a gross thing. Grossly, they're trying to get all this. They're meddling with this material nature. Correct, no? Of course, he's saying material scientists have limitation. They cannot be so expert like yogis. But yogis are able to do it so much greater way. But it is a similar nature of, trying to just have control and exploit. Correct, no? And just meddle with material nature. So read further, Prabhu, foolishly. Read ahead further. Robert, where you are? Robert, read further.
Foolishly, people who are enamored of the glitter of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that the Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent men. Yeah. It's funny. I'm better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family, and sex life. That's pretty good. These people do not know that at any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. It's also true. Due to ignorance, they do not know that real life is eternal. The temporary comforts of the body are not the goal of life, and it is due only to darkest ignorance that people become enamored of the glittering advancement of material comforts. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore said that the advancement of material knowledge renders a person more foolish because it causes one to forget his real identity by its glitter.
Mm.
This is doom for him because this human form of life is meant for getting out of material contamination. By the advancement of material knowledge, people are becoming more and more entangled in material existence. They have no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe.
Yeah, go ahead further. Read for this also. Go ahead. Read.
Um, okay.
Read, Prabhu.
In the
Hmm.
Hari Bhakti Sudadaya,
Hmm.
it is stated that Prahlada Maharaja, a great devotee of the Lord, prayed to Nrishramdeva, the half-lion, half-man incarnation, as follows. My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady, because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all the other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence.
Go ahead.
Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections because the happiness derived from devotional service and Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. It is said that even one drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with an ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Well, thus, any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all the other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation.
Read this. And then you stop. Read this. Robert, read this.
Yep. There was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya known as Kolavecha Sridhara, who was a very poor man. He was doing a small business selling cups made from the leaves of plantain trees, and his income was almost nothing. Still, he was spending 50% of his small income on the worship of the Ganges, and with the other 50%, he was somehow living. Lord Chaitanya once revealed himself to this confidential devotee, Kolavecha Sridhara, and offered him any opulence he liked. But Sridhara informed the Lord that he did not want any material opulence. He was quite happy in his present position and wanted only to gain unflinching faith and devotion under the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. That is the position of pure devotees. If they can be engaged 24 hours each day in devotional service, they do not want anything else, not even the happiness of liberation or of becoming one with the Supreme.
Read this last in the ninth.
Wow.
Read this. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm feeling like some Indian car sometimes doesn't go. It stops so much.
This in the Narada Paratra, it is also said that any person who has developed even a small amount of devotional service doesn't care a fig for any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or the 5 kinds of liberation. Any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, liberation, or sense gratification cannot even dare to enter into the heart of a pure devotee. It is stated that as the personal attendants, and maidservants of a queen follow the queen with all respect and obeisances, similarly, the joys of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kind of happiness derived from any source. He does not want anything but service to Krishna, but even if he should have another desire, the Lord fulfills this without the devotee's asking.
Not want
Well-
anything but service to Krishna. But even if he should have another desire, yeah, so you can see this beautiful point. So this dharma, artha, kama, moksha is what he's talking religiously. Why it is not people does not want, because they don't want dharma for artha. They don't want religious ceremonies for getting some kind of material benefits. Then for that fulfill the material there is kama. Then moksha means liberation from material existence for attaining peace, not serving the Lord. So that kind of happiness a devotee does not want. The devotee is happy in just devotional service and he gets the happiness of all that already in devotional service. It's like fullness. It's like a child who is completely in love with parents. So he's feeling that satisfaction and fullness. So all that, pleasure of hawkers, going to movies, so many, kids keep doing that. So by having that loving joy with having that loving responsibility with the parents, I mean, I'm just taking the ideal situation, then he's so fulfilled that he gets the happiness of all that what they're trying to seek so many places, other naughty kids, those who are not having that kind of relationship with the parents. You understand this point, no? At least we have observed in our lives also, no? Like many of our friends were into so many things here and there. But we did not feel the need of it because we're feeling so fulfillment, by some kind of positive care and affection what we might be getting, You're getting this point. Is that clear? Does it make sense? Yeah. So the highest happiness one gets by rendering devotional service to the Lord, because our loving and serving purpose, he gets fully satisfied. That's why we're discussing Sayam, if you remember. When we serve the Lord, we can find true happiness. But if you get any kind of material gratification or trying to get liberation without any service to the Lord, then that doesn't make one happy. So any reflection point, quick, one point, reflection point we can share and we can pause here. Just quick one line reflection.
So I feel that so according to the materialistic world, all the scientists are God because they do a lot of things that other people can't do. So like they said, like when somebody who walks on the water or air or floats or anything, if those people who do something others can't do, then all the scientists are God. So, and also there's a YouTube video I saw. It's called Subatomic Universe, where the rules in the materialistic world and even when you go into the atomic level, the rules are so different. So I think in the subatomic world, the rules are different. Materialistic world, rules are different. In spiritual world, the rules are different. So I think spiritual world is eternal. However, there's no distraction in that one, and it's more simple. Materialistic world is more delusion, more complicated, and more distracting.
What was the first line you said about scientists and yogis?
No, I selected because in the paragraph that we read, if people who have mystic powers, either yogis or scientists, if they do some things like inventing a boat, plane, or some machines, something. If those powers make them special, if these powers make them God, then all the scientists are considered gods, but they are not.
And that's what people think. People
Yes.
consider scientists only as God, they're gods.
Right, yeah.
But they're giving them some cheap benefits.
Yeah. So, yes, exactly. So if
and
that
I'll
is
tell you, all the modern civilization is worshipping them only.
Yes.
See what we are doing. Instead of reading Gita, we're reading scientific books.
Yes.
Instead of doing research and absorbing our intelligence in Gita and Bhagavatam and getting the sublime knowledge. Whole lives they are getting into research. They're getting into PhDs, postdoc, developing on that. And keeping those great scientists, those who have done great work, seeing them as Mahadanas. No, they are the great ideals for me. That's what the world is looking for, you see. And then
Yes.
and they think that the highest benefit we can give to society by giving something like this, some more product, some more facilities. That's what people think. It's a completely nonsense, foolish idea about one's own advancement and people's advancement and scientist greatness. And they think that is their God that way. Someone else that's God.
Yeah.
Like that say if religion, if science would have been religion, then Einstein or Newton, they say they are the gods.
Also, if people look simple or people does simple things, then people and they think that there is no value. If people do big things, complicated things, anything, if it is more complicated, people value more.
The
than
devotional service is the highest thing, and that is the real spiritual thing. That's very good. Thank you, Xavier Prabhu and Sayam Prabhu and Robert Prabhu and Akshara Mataji and Puna Mataji. Quickly, one point you can share. Go ahead. Whoever is ready, go ahead, please, fast. Go ahead fast, Sayam Prabhu. You want to say?
Yes. From what I could pick up, true devotee would not have any desire for any materialistic comforts. And if any materials are required, like food, comfort, shelter, the God would provide those for the devotee.
Anyway, yeah, God takes care of that. Like you have your love for parents. That is the main concern. And all these things are understandable. It's not like you have to tell, hey, will you give me breakfast tomorrow? Hey, will you, give uniform to me for going to school? Will you give fees for my school education? You don't have to even ask also. Parents are, and God is omnipotent. He can supply anything for the devotee, whatever is required. You don't have to worry about. That's not the main concern. That's not the real problem. Very good. Yes, Robert Prabhu. Any reflection? You have to unmute Robert. Okay, Xavier, you go ahead. Robert is taking time.
I think for me, I liked where it said let's see, hang on, sorry. It was like it's where he was saying, my dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady, because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all the other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even attainment of liberation from material existence.
Okay, thank you. Robert Prabhu, you want to share any point? You have to unmute Robert. Robert, Hare Krishna. Robert Prabhu. He is not there. Okay, Akshata Mataji, you want to share any point? Any reflection? Are you there? Puna Mataji, you want to share any point?
Can't speak.
You can't speak. Okay. Akshata Mataji, you want to share any point? Robert, you want to share any point? I think no one is there. Robert has gone. Okay, I think we'll pause here. So, Xavier, are you coming tomorrow? Or Robert, you want to share any point? Any reflection? You want to share any reflection, Robert? He's hearing or not? Somebody can speak once. I don't know that he's able to hear me.
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
Robert, can you share the reflection?
He might be busy.
No, he's there. No. Okay. Anyway, you are coming tomorrow, Xavier Prabhu?
I will be there. I'm not sure.